So I decided to join a competition with over 3,000 developers to try and see who makes the best game. But there's only one problem. I'm not really the best programmer out here. But no one has to know that because I'm gonna fucking funk my way through this whole competition and try and win with ease. I am probably not gonna win, by the way. The rules are simple. We only have 3 days to make a whole game, so yikes, that's gonna be 1 weekend wasted. And every game has to follow the theme, which we're not gonna know what it is until the start of the competition. So this could really be anything. In the past game jams, it was something like time reversed, and I hope this time the theme is gonna be good. Foreshadowing, it's not. So I decided to get some proper rest before day 1 to start into day 1 with some fresh juices, and then I went on to programming the shit out of my weekend. Boom! Day 1. They dropped the theme, and it was deaths. Honestly, a very tough theme in my opinion, because it's just so generic. It could go in any direction and I really had troubles coming up with a good game idea. So I decided to go to my university because I had some friends there who were also gonna join in this competition and I wanted to see if maybe they had a good game idea. Kevin and Katzbeck decided to make a game where you play as a bat and you use your ultrasonic abilities to detect the depth of the cave around you. Our professor Ulrich decided to make a game where you're stuck in a building and you are trapped in a loop. You will not be able to advance to the next floor until you solve the hidden puzzle of each floor, and only then you can advance. And Consti thought it's a great idea to make a game about a spermium where you're exploring some sort of tunnel. I guess he gets extra points for creativity. So at this point it's really important that I find a good idea for my game and make it super fun to play so that I rank high in this competition. And there's only like 3,000 other people participating, so how hard can it actually be? So my idea was to fall into an endless cave down, you know, depths, so down of a cave, and you try to survive as long as possible. The longer you fall, the faster you get, but you also need to dodge obstacles as you fall. In order to increase addiction of the player, we're gonna track the amount of points he gets, and that's pretty much the game idea. We are also gonna add some special effects to make this more spicy. Here you can have a quick look. Oh! But that's all you're gonna get, because let's actually make this game. So let's open up Unity and create a square. This is not just any square though, this is gonna be our player for now, and later we're gonna exchange the graphics. Now we are gonna make this square fall, but it's not actually the square that's falling, it's the background that is scrolling up. Damn. Then I randomly spawned in some obstacles in order to have something that the player can collide with. Right now nothing much happens, but the game basically stops. And I know what you're thinking. Damn, Elian is such a good programmer. No, I was actually not thinking that. Thank you, but I would like to divert your eyes' attention to a problem that we're having right now. I made the player fall faster and faster over time because I think that would be funny. You know, like making the game more difficult over time. The problem is only after I went to the toilet and came back, we were so fast that we were actually glitching through the pieces in this game. So yeah, someone has to fix that. I have no idea who's gonna do that, but yeah, someone has to do that. So I decided to instead go and make a score system for the player so that he gets a crippling gambling addiction when he compares his score to all of his friends and family. This is obviously a very smart choice for me and totally not evil at all. And we now basically have a complete game loop already, and it's also so fun to play, it's insane. A big problem though is that the player cannot really see far ahead because most of the screen goes to the side and not really to the bottom, which just really doesn't make sense in this game because we want to be able to look ahead and be able to dodge. So a simple solution that I had was just turn the PC sideways. This way we are now able to use the whole width of the screen, which really increased game fun a lot and was actually quite easy to play, no problems at all. However, because my body posture is really not the best while I program, I have a very stiff neck. So unfortunately I didn't have enough muscles to play this game for a long time. Instead I decided to add a light cone on top of the obstacle so that the player could see it before it would actually appear in the screen. Unfortunately, this is also where I found out that Unity's 2D lights are basically garbage, so I somehow had to do this myself in Photoshop, but yeah, it turned out actually pretty decent. So decent in fact that I would totally love it if you would consider to subscribe. So I don't know if you noticed, but our graphics still actually look kinda So I searched online and I found the perfect replacement for our player. It costs $5, but I think the investment is really worth because maybe I can also use it in a different game and I just really like the animations. Yeah, but then I kinda found out that this guy's falling animation is legit just one frame, and since my game is really only about falling, this was kind of a problem. Luckily though, my university not only has programmers but also art people, and one of them wanted to join this competition. And seeing that I was desperate, Lejla decided to help me with the art. So she redrew the character character, which makes it look much nicer now. She also made this whole artwork of the cave around the player, which would have been a total hassle for me to piece this all together with a pre-made tile set, and also I feel like it fits quite a lot. So thank you Lejla, and here's all her details, check out her stuff, she's a really good artist. So I just adapted my amazing light to fit her art a little bit more and made this awesome wind particle effect, which makes this game so realistic it's absolutely insane. And the keen-eyed of you might have noticed this amazing multiplier at the top here. The idea is that the longer you fall, the more multiplier you stack up, but now you actually have the ability to jump to slow down your fall in case you're a little bit, which will make it easier again, but in return you lose your multiplier. And guess what? It was Lejla again who made the animations for the jump. Very cool. So I added some cool sound effects and background music to make the game more spicy, and it now actually feels pretty good to play. But this game has a big problem, and I called it marketability. Now don't think I'm actually smart, because I'm not, but what I do know is that stupid things and explosions make a lot of money. So I thought, besides this game already being stupid, what can I now actually put in that would be fun or interesting? So now we are finally getting to the fun part, facepalming the floor. And if you're having trouble imagining this effect, here's a little reference. Upon studying the trajectory and the angle of impact, I was able to divert this information to my own game. For the maximum feel of impact, Lejla drew this amazing art of the player facepalming the floor, and I added a little bit of the blood effect. Of course, we also need a little bit of camera shake, and finally we're gonna of course turn off the music instantly so that the player knows that he f***ed up. However, death by impact would be boring if it would always be the same. So next to the normal, perfectly angled, flat-faced death with nice butt cheeks, Lejla also made the hanging over the cliff with butt cheeks, the masochist diver, scrambled egg, and of course, the Peter. And for my fellow speedy boys, I added the ability to press down, which makes you faster and increase the multiplier after you jumped and it's a bit too slow for you, so you can get faster quicker again. Finally, I had to fix a bug where the player would crash into the side of the game, and reused Lejla's art for the main menu and gave it an ominous sounding background music. So the game is done and we can finally put it online and get a lot of reviews to see how high we rank against the other people. Because in order to rank high, we need at least 20 reviews in order to be eligible for the official ranking, which is kind of difficult, and it means that the marketing of the game needs to actually be kind of decent and look well. The problem only was that I only had 1 hour time left to upload the game, which I thought was a lot of time, but then I realized I need to make some pictures and maybe a GIF. I looked at all the other games and the website looks so well and nicely done, and I was like, god damn, I need to do this now. Okay, I first made a super awesome GIF and the general website for the game, and then the person can click on the link to go to the itch.io website to play the game for free, of course, and you can do that as well if you want. So I tried to make that look nice. Then I also obviously had to pick a good thumbnail, because that's the only way people click on the game. So I was considering putting my beautiful face on the thumbnail, because that would probably get a lot of clicks, but then I didn't want to, you know, like play it unfair for other people who are not as handsome as me. So I decided to go with the Apple style, you know, simplistic. So with legit only 5 minutes on the clock, I've managed to upload and finalize the website for the game, and all I still needed to do was just wait for the reviews. But then the next days, I didn't really get much reviews, nothing really worked, even though my post and my thumbnail are so amazing. So I found out that you actually need to play other people's games, because the more you do, the more likely it is for your game to show up on other people's home screen. So I played a bunch of games, and some of them were actually really cool and awesome for just creations in like 3 days only. There was one game where you just fall down and you can go faster, and if you time well you can kill enemies, and you also have these diamonds that give you more points and essentially increase your lifetime. There was also another cool game where you play some nice dude who farms minerals underwater. There are also these underwater slimes who shoot balls at you, and every time you can go up and upgrade and increase your items that you have, increase your oxygen levels. So after reviewing a few games, I was finally able to get some reviews myself, and I ended up with over 30 reviews in total, which was really nice. I also had all of these comments of people commenting on my game, telling me what was good, what was bad, and they were just all really respectful in total. However, I'm not here for being nice, I'm here to win. So let's check out the ratings of how good the people rated this game on the different categories. Overall, this is probably the most most important stat we have, drumroll please, 279th. Honestly, that's pretty decent. I feel like for my game, like this is not the best game, so I feel like that's a pretty decent result. I'm gonna skip fun for now because it's kind of interesting. Innovation, okay, I'm not that innovative, so I can get like how I got 500th. Team, 199th place. What's up? Good. Graphics, 380. Sorry, Lejla. Okay, but now let's go to the most important stat, of course, which is fun. And this game got 81st place for fun. That's absolutely insane. I know there can be RNG in this, but now I really wanted to see what I could do. And for the first time properly trying and getting a top 100 score, that's like really, really awesome. So subscribe if you like this video and comment below any game idea that you might have, because I might do a mashup of all of your ideas. And I want to thank you very much for watching till the end.